What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers officially eliminate the Golden State Warriors and put an end to the dynasty as we know it. The Warriors went on an incredible run, defending champions last year. They have been just utterly dominant for the last 10 years and have just been a beauty to watch. Seriously, as a basketball fan, I know some people look at it and, it's boring having the same team. They were insanely dominant. Who knows when the next level of dominance, dynasty level team like this will exist. So for the Warriors to do and achieve everything that they were able to achieve, eventually it was going to come to an end. And the Lakers, in my opinion, put it to an end last night when they won and advanced to the Western Conference Finals. And the Warriors have a lot of questions, a lot of concerns. They are completely strapped, very limited. Their stars aren't the stars that they once were. Outside of Steph, Draymond still has a lot of value, but Klay Thompson was non-existent. Jordan Poole was non-existent. Andrew Wiggins was not the guy he was last year. Last year, that guy was the second best player on the Warriors in their championship run. This year, he was super inconsistent. Warriors need help. Warriors are going to need to get back to the drawing board, retool, and figure out what are they going to do, right? The Warriors aren't just going to stand pat. I don't see that. I think the Warriors are going to have a lot of changes. Their dynasty has officially came to an end. Problem is, they can't break it up, right? You're not going to trade Steph. Steph is still too good, too talented, too valuable. You're not going to get rid of him. Klay Thompson, he wants to get paid. They're really going to have to figure out what to do with Klay Thompson because you're not going to get value for Klay Thompson. Maybe you could trade him and get a decent piece, but in reality, you might as well just keep him and figure something out. And then maybe if he continues to play this way, you can kind of use it as like a, hey, we can't give you the money that you want because look, you've been terrible. But I still think Klay as like just a off-ball threat, as like a third, fourth, fifth option still has value. But him having to be like the second or third guy, I just don't think he has it anymore. He's not the guy he once was. Draymond Green is still a great defensive guy, still a very valuable piece. I mean, look, if you had to choose between Klay and Draymond, I think you keep Draymond, right? Because I just think Draymond provides more on the defensive end. His hustle, his energy, his passion, just his ability to play make, I think is extremely valuable. And it's just more valuable than what Klay provides now. Klay was a non-factor in this series, and you're not going to get value for him. Draymond Green, you probably not going to get value for him at the $26 million or whatever he's going to make next year because he's going to opt in. He's not going to get more anywhere else. So I think you're stuck with these three for at least another year unless something comes up on the table. Maybe you get some team that's like, hey, we'll take Klay Thompson. Maybe then you unload him and move him, especially if you don't have to give up any assets or anything major. I think maybe you look to move him. Draymond, if you can get a good deal for Draymond, maybe you move him. But I think he at least has some value still. I think he is still an important factor and an important piece for the Warriors. But what do they do? Right? Where do they go? I think you have to trade Jordan Poole. He was spectacular last season. He, on that championship, I mean, even Klay said, we don't win this championship without Jordan Poole. He was massive. And I don't know what it is with Jordan this year. Part of it is probably getting punched in the face by Draymond Green, who's supposed to be the team leader. Some of it is probably just that wall that players just hit. Some of it is probably ego, and he got the payday. He just doesn't work and fit on this Warriors team. I think he's a guy that on the right team in the right situation can go get you 25 a game. He's probably not going to be super consistent, but he's still really young. He's like 23 years old. I think Jordan Poole still has a ton of value. I think he's also the best bet for the Warriors to get a couple quality pieces, two guys, because that's what the Warriors need. The Warriors need to get back to added depth, get some two-way guys. I think they got to get a center. I really do. I know they haven't really needed one over the last several years, but even then, they still had guys. They had Andrew Bogut, right, who was really good for them. They need a defensive rebounding center. Doesn't even have to be anybody elite. Doesn't have to be anybody great. You just need somebody that can come in, bang with the big guys, block some shots, provide some rim protection, and then they need to get some added defense, right? They need to get some two-way guys. If you can turn Jordan Poole into like, I don't know, a Jeremy Grant or something like that, that would be great, right? Maybe move Clay to the bench and go something like Steph, Wiggins, Grant, Draymond, and then try to go get a center in the offseason, go get somebody that can defend, or even Looney, right? Because then now you have several guys that can have switchability, that can play defense, can rotate, stuff like that. Maybe Clay off the bench, he can kind of, against lesser defense, lesser just competition, maybe he can kind of thrive. I think that's what they need to do. I think they need to get another 3-and-D style wing. Maybe you can go get like an OG Anunoby, something like that, right? I think that could be beneficial. Something in that ballpark, right? Go get it like an OG or a Pascal Siakam or, a Jeremy Grant. Somebody that can come in, play both sides of the ball, go give you 20 on any given night, and then go get a defensive type center. Then I think outside of Jordan Poole, I think you take whatever draft picks you have and you take Jonathan Kuminga and you try to go get some other piece, right? You try to go get another piece or two, get some added depth on the bench, right? Come the playoffs, you only need like 2 or 3 guys. Still the Warriors, you might get some guys in the offseason, but in reality, you need to get some reliable bench depth. And I think if you can trade Jordan Poole and get like a quality piece or two, and then flip Jonathan Kuminga with, however many draft, I don't know how many they have off the top of my head, but however many draft picks, and maybe go get another solid piece or two, I think now you're cooking with fire. Kuminga, 6'7", 6'8", 20 years old, jump out the building, has a lot of potential. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for the Warriors here. I think they have pieces. I think Moses Moody, I think he has value for the Warriors. I think he was actually really solid in the series as a two-way guy. But if you can get the right pieces, maybe a little more veteran-led guys, I think that would be very valuable. I think that's something that the Warriors should definitely look into. Like if you can take Moses Moody, take Kuminga, whatever first that they have, go get again a solid piece or two. I think that's great. I think now you're in business, right? They got to start getting some versatile 3-and-D guys to put around Steph, so that way Steph can get some space. Teams can't really lock in on him. You saw his ability to play make when you need him to. I think that's something that could really work and help a lot for this Warriors team. I think those are your best bets to really kind of upgrade this roster. And the Warriors have shown that they're willing to do so. You're also going to have to pay these young guys at some point, and you might as well go get guys that make sense now while you can to kind of keep Steph's window open. Because Steph Curry is still great. He's still brilliant. But they got to go get him a new team. This team, as currently constructed, they're not going to win anything again. They're not. And so I don't think you need to blow the whole thing up entirely. But I think if you can go, like I said, if you can you figure out a way to go, can you get a Miles Turner and like Jeremy Grant or OG Anunoby, right? Like let's say OG Anunoby and Miles Turner. Can you find a way to do that? And now you have a starting five of like Steph, Wiggins, OG, Draymond, and Turner. You're probably one of the best teams in the West now, if not the best team in the West now, right? Because now you got several guys that can all go get you 15 to 20. They can all play defense outside of Steph. You got switchability, you got defense, you got everything, right? Like, can they go do something like that? If they can, I think that they have a chance to win an NBA championship. I think they should have made some moves at this last trade deadline. Talked about this. There were even talks about, The Warriors had an opportunity to get OG Anunoby, but they didn't want to include Kuminga. Now it's like you should have done that. That would have helped a lot, right? You know, even if they would have gotten a guy like Jakob Poeltl, which didn't cost much, I just think the Warriors were so content. They looked at it as like, hey, we just won an NBA championship. I know things are rough, but hey, playoff Warriors is not the same thing. And it wasn't enough this year. This year for the Warriors started bad and it ended bad. And the Warriors are going to have to retool in this upcoming offseason. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think the Warriors should do? Who do you think they should trade? Who would you like them to target? Obviously, realistically, guys that I think are realistic. But, what do you think the move here is for the Warriors? Do you think they should run it back? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know.